All right, so we start the next video. I just want to remind everybody that it's probably a good idea to generally be a good person. Anyway, gravitational potential energy. Here we go. GPE is equal to mgh. Please write this down. A 12.5 kilogram object is not just sitting; it is perched on the edge of a cliff. All it's going to take is a small nudge to get it moving off the edge of a cliff, and that cliff is 2.5 meters tall. So think of something like a 5-pound object, and it is perched on a cliff that is approximately 2.5 meter sticks tall. We need to find the gravitational potential energy of that object prior to its fall. So make sure that you have that written down. 12.5 kilogram object, kg, is the abbreviation for kilogram. Wow, brain freeze there. And then 2.5 meters, 2.5 m, 2.5 meters above the ground. Let's see here. And I misspoke. 12.5 kilogram object, I went the other way. That would be about 27 pounds. So about 30-pound object, 2.5 meter sticks tall. Always, always, always WTF. Write the formula. First, GPE is equal to mgh. Now we are plugging this in, and this is where people mix things up a little bit. So pay attention to this. You have 12.5 kilogram object. That's your M for mass. How do you know it's mass? Well, because you should know by now that grams and kilograms are how we measure mass. And then here is the height right here, 2.5 meters right there, 2.50 meters. That trailing zero counts in the N for sig figs. And then here is our acceleration due to gravity, or little g. And a lot of people, two things that they mess up here. One is that they will think that there are two significant figures in g. But remember, there are certain numbers in the world that have infinite sig figs. So things that are just definitions, they have infinite significant figures. So this right here does not matter that there are only two numbers right there. We actually know this number to lots more decimal places, and this is a simplified version of it. But this is not anything that you need to worry about in terms of sig figs. The other thing that people mess up is they get scared by this meters per second squared. That's how we know this is an acceleration, which is a change of speed, as opposed to speed, which is a change of position with time. Meters per second versus meters per second squared. This is not something that you square. This is just the units that are in there. And remember, kilogram meters squared divided by second squared is a joule. So if you've done this on your calculator, you should have gotten this, 306.25 joules, 306.25 joules. But remember, that is a filthy lie from our calculator. We only have 3 sig figs to work with because we are limited by the number with the fewest number of sig figs. In this case, they both have 3. All those non-zeros count. And then the trailing zero counts at the end because there's a decimal right there. So 306 joules. Kinetic energy, you got to remember to square the velocity. Gravitational potential energy, you're not squaring anything even though there is a square in one of the units in there. It's just mass times acceleration due to gravity times height. This would be an excellent opportunity to stop class and take like a 3-minute break. Get up, move around the room, go get some water. You guys know what to do, but be back in the room in about 3 minutes. In fact, be back in the room at 3 minutes. I'm going to stop the video, take a brain break, and then get back to it in 3 minutes.